Always known my wife was cheating on me but never confronted her because she put in more effort out of guilt. Now she's shaming her cheating friend and I told her to look in a mirror. My 29M wife 29F has been having an affair for 2 years, and I have been aware of it pretty much the whole time. We've been together for 7 years, married for 5, and we don't have kids. I have been working from home since COVID hit, and for the last 3+ years, she has been a secretary in a large office building. Now, I'm not going to pretend like we had the perfect marriage 2 years ago and that I can't believe she would do this. I was totally complacent in my life and really wasn't putting much effort into our relationship at all. That doesn't excuse what she did, and she had her own issues with intimacy and communication that led us to where we were then. I just want it clear I'm no saint in all of this. I totally understand we were basically roommates that, on rare occasions, satisfied each other's needs in bed. Well, I found out right away when the emotional affair started. I've got everything logged into every device we have, including my work computer. I mean synced email, text, photos, social media, etc. So I was basically reading her affair regularly, including when it became a physical affair about 4 weeks in. The part that told me this was over, though, was that I felt nothing about it. I was totally indifferent, maybe a little embarrassed at worst. When the physical affair started 2 years ago, I recognized that this marriage was at its end, and that I should just divorce, mostly because I felt nothing. I started looking into lawyers and figured we could just do this easily and amicably. Well, here's where the crazy part happens. When the emotional affair started, she seemed, I wouldn't say happy, but less sad. Then the weekend after the physical affair started, I got the shock of my life. She came into my office that Saturday morning and asked me to take her on a hike and picnic. Initially, I thought this was the moment to burst her bubble and reveal what I know. But I didn't. I decided to actually get up and do this. I kind of thought she was going to reveal it herself and ask for a divorce. We had a really nice time. It was a great day, and she never brought up anything. I chalked it up as one more good memory before we end this thing. Then she asked me out again that week. Then we had intimacy. I don't know if it was shame, or guilt, or what, but she was basically taking the initiative to improve our marriage. After that first week, she began to open up more about her feelings. For some reason, I had a fire lit under me and started to make some effort in our relationship. I began reconnecting with some old friends and got all the laundry off the gym equipment. The affair continued, but as we spent more time together over those early weeks, and since it really gave me no concern and everything seemed better, decided to just forget about divorcing her and start enjoying my life. I do still love this woman very much. Up until 2 days ago, we were in a really solid place. We had outings every other weekend, date night on Thursday, regular intimacy, and communication. I don't even read their messages anymore, just occasionally to see if it's still going on. 2 days ago, I noticed she was having frequent and long conversations with one of her close friends. I asked my wife about it, and it turns out this friend's husband got caught having an affair, and my wife has been comforting her. This wouldn't have been a big deal, but my wife then started bashing the husband for cheating. I don't know why I said it, but it came out. You're one to judge. She got super defensive and pressed me for why I said that. I initially tried to apologize and move on, but she wasn't letting up, and I eventually spilled that I've known about her affair the whole time. She tried to play dumb, which annoyed me, so I started citing specific. She then got really mad at me, started crying, accusing me of not caring about her. I got pissed and started yelling at her because I'm not the one having an affair. It got heated, and we went to separate rooms and slept it off. Yesterday morning, she got up extra early and went to work before I got up. I tuned back into their messages, and she had broken up with her affair partner. He was messaging her constantly on every app, and she just kept blocking him. She came home early yesterday. I went to talk to her, and she stopped me, looked at me, and asked, how could I let this go on? I replied, because I just didn't care. She then called me a huge jerk and locked herself in our bedroom until she left for work this morning. She got home tonight, said nothing to me, and locked herself in again. I can't even imagine in what bizarro world I could possibly be the jerk in this situation. Is there a perspective out there where I am? If so, please share it with me because in my mind, there is. Update 1. First off, I appreciate everyone's comments on the original post, except those of you who just get on and throw insults. You need therapy more than anyone on this whole site. Anyway, the conversations I'm going to share below were in no way linear. We jumped around in topics, talking about this, which led to that, only to come back to this, reveal that, and so on. So, I'm going to just try and put it all together as coherently as possible. Like I said in a comment on the other post, my wife finally came out at around 12:30 a.m. Friday and joined me on the couch in my office. She curled up next to me and just cried for a solid 15 to 20 minutes, and we were just silent otherwise. When she was ready, we began talking until we were worn out. We picked that up again last night, which was also taxing. We finally finished up, for now, this morning. This includes long spells of crying, hysterical bonding, and a phone call to the affair partner while I listened. He was aware. The start of the affair was pretty cliché. Flirty small talk makes her feel good, escalates, becomes messaging and sharing personal details, and eventually leads to kissing. Probably don't need to explain the rest of the escalation from there. We talked a lot about what got her to that point. She remembers it seemed like nothing she did could get my attention. I agreed with this completely. I also stated, though, that I don't remember too many attempts. She acknowledged that she wasn't very forthcoming in those days, always hinting at what she wanted and not just outright saying it. There wasn't any one moment, she said, that broke the camel's back, just a collection of times. When the affair partner came into the picture, the validation was intoxicating, especially in contrast to years of neglect. However, she said she felt a ton of guilt and shame. She was in the same spot I was when it started, assuming we would just divorce as we were largely just roommates at that point. The hike and picnic were supposed to be the last bit of assurance that our marriage was over. She did not expect me to agree to go or for it to be such a pleasant time. From that point, we started reconnecting, and she made the decision to make the effort as long as I kept making the effort. She opened up more, and I was responding. That got us to where we've been the last 2 years. As to why she didn't end it with the affair partner once I was back, she admitted she was just being selfish, kept telling herself she would but didn't actually want to. I was planning dates, listening, and back to initiating intimacy often. He doted on her and validated her. She had the best of everything. Eventually, she just convinced herself that what I didn't know didn't hurt me. This makes her feel stupid now, knowing I knew the whole time. We talked about my surveillance, and she said she is having trouble getting over this and feels betrayed. I didn't give her any excuses. It came up because she did ask how I knew, and I told her she's been logged into our old desktop and work computer on her email, Insta, Facebook, etc., for years, as well as it being connected to our cloud. I owned up to how wrong this was, but we both agreed that if we are going to make the reconciliation work, we're going to have to forgive each other for a lot of things. As many said and were right about, my I don't care statement was extremely triggering and hurt. It took her right back to where we used to be. I took advice and organized my thoughts and told her that it wasn't that I don't care. I care about her immensely and changed for the better these last 2 years because I wanted to be there for her. I then explained I should have said it doesn't bother me. She's still trying to wrap her head around this. I'm trying to explain how I just basically don't feel jealousy or insecurity, which is hard to put into words. It also causes a mix of emotions on her end. Told her that having her be happy again made everything worth it for me. Also, the affair got me on my feet for the first time in years, so in a way, I've kind of told myself it was a blessing these past years. Finally, to address the breakup with the affair partner, she said once it was out, she went into a doom spiral, thinking everything in her life was a sham. She felt guilty over everything. She cut him loose, and locked me out. She was basically beating herself up for being awful to both of us. Listening to her call with him was hard even for me. From what she's told me in our conversations and from the call, I'm pretty convinced he is in love with her. I think he was holding out hope we would divorce at some point. She laid it out for him that we would not and were going to do everything to make this marriage work. He didn't beg or degrade himself but seemed genuinely hurt. When the call ended, she reblocked him and stated she has to go no contact so he can heal and actually go find someone, and we can fix our issues. We are working out our plans to fix our marriage. Not totally sure where to go from here. She wants individual counseling for herself, so we will make that happen. After she has done that for a while, we will probably start marriage counseling. We are also going to symbolically start fresh, and I'm getting a new work computer. From there, it's being open and honest with each other every day and making sure we are present in our lives. I love this woman very much and want to make this work.